Childhood emotional neglect. What is that? I recently learned about this exact term from Jonice Webb, PhD, who wrote the book Running on Empty, Overcoming Your Childhood Emotional Neglect. So she has plenty of podcasts where you can listen to more information about this. But childhood emotional neglect is pretty common because our parents often didn't know enough about their own emotions to teach us about our emotions. And now that social and emotional development is becoming important and we're realizing how helpful it is for us, how helpful it is for relationships, how helpful it is to prevent against drug abuse and violence and so many things. We realized that some of us didn't get this social emotional education when we were growing up. And so that childhood emotional neglect might show up as, like, it doesn't really show up strongly sometimes because you may have grown up in a family where most everything else was very consistent in your life. There was always food on the table, your parents had jobs, everything felt very stable. You had clothes to wear, you did your homework, you may have actually done well in school, in the academic world, but no one talked about your emotions. Possibly some of your emotions were not accepted, not allowed, and you were shamed for having them and told that you should be ashamed for having those feelings. And so when you or anyone feels like a part of them is not allowed, then often we have to shut off that part of ourselves in order to survive in that family life. And this may be extremely unconscious that we're doing this. Other people may be very conscious. Like, oh, I knew that my parents didn't understand emotions, and I just realized that and accepted that in my family. But just in childhood emotional neglect, we want to prevent that for our children, of course. And one of the ways is to accept all feelings, talk about feelings, help your child know that feelings are normal, a normal part of being a human being. Later, we can talk about what to do with all those feelings. But my videos have started out in the series with just understanding the feelings, accepting the feelings, and naming the feelings. Really, really helpful for your child in their social and emotional development. Now, I'm not applying that we accept actions, because feelings and actions are two different things. But feelings and a feelings vocabulary and allowance is helpful, so helpful.